Hi, the Hull and East Riding Apprenticeship Expo is a fantastic event that connects young people with apprenticeship employers and providers in the Hull and East Yorkshire area. Organised in partnership by East Riding of Yorkshire Council and Hull City Council, we've put together some information that will help you to get the most out of the event, making sure that you understand what an apprenticeship is, what to expect on the day, and how to prepare. So, an apprenticeship is essentially the opportunity to launch your career while still furthering your education. A paid job where you work and learn at the same time. You're earning a wage, you're gaining a nationally recognised qualification while you're working. It's giving you real work experience, you're gaining skills, employer contacts, and you're hopefully opening the doors to full time work afterwards too. How does it work? You work for an employer, a company, a hospital, a school, any kind of business, and you do real tasks. You normally spend 4 days a week with your employer, working with someone more skilled and experienced than you and learning from them. And you also study part time, usually at a college or a training provider, and this is called your off the job learning. Normally, this is 1 day a week, but sometimes these days are saved up and you could do all of your off the job learning in a block of a few weeks instead. And you don't pay tuition fees for these. During this time, you're of course earning your wage, and at the end, you're getting your qualification as well as all of that real work experience that we talked about too. So, what kind of industries offer apprenticeships? The good news is almost all of them, and more every year as well. We tried to gather as many employers as possible to exhibit at the expo, but unfortunately, some industries aren't represented. If the business or industry you're interested in isn't at the event, it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't offer apprenticeships. Sometimes it's harder for smaller businesses to attend events like this and spend time away from their everyday jobs. If in doubt, get in touch with them and ask. This shows you're interested and proactive, and it makes a great first impression too. So, other than attending the event, how can you find an apprenticeship? You can use Log On Move On. So, we have the courses and apprenticeships section, and we have the apprenticeships live vacancies section as well, which is where you'll find businesses advertising for apprentices. You could, of course, use the company websites and their social media channels too. So, big companies often have careers pages on their websites, and smaller companies might advertise on social media. So, why don't you follow target companies on social media or sign up for their newsletters? But please do be careful to always check that companies that you find online are legitimate. You could also ask local businesses. So if there's a particular industry or business that you're interested in, go and speak to them. Employers often value enthusiasm and initiative, and showing an interest can get you noticed. And most importantly, use your network as well. So ask your friends and family to keep an eye out for suitable apprenticeship opportunities for you. If you know someone that works in a trade, a business, or a local company, ask about apprenticeship opportunities with them or any of the businesses that they might work with too. How can you apply? Well, every provider and employer is different and they'll all have their own recruitment processes. Log On Move On is a good place to start, and you can apply to most of the providers in our area using your Log On Move On account. You can apply direct to employers that are advertising vacancies. So, this could be an online application form, or it might be that you have to submit a CV, so a written summary of your experience, your qualifications, and why you think you'd be good at that job. But don't forget, there is a CV writer in your Log On Move On account that can help you with this too. It's important on the day to ask the provider or employer about how and when to apply so that you don't miss any deadlines. And of course, you can speak to the exhibitors in the information zone for tips and support with applications too. So, what to expect on the day? If you're visiting with school or college, you'll normally have about an hour to explore the arena. If you're at the public session, then you'll have until 6 pm. There'll be over 50 exhibitors for you to speak to. So if you're not sure where to start, why don't you head to the information zone? That'll be signposted, and you'll find a range of support services from Log On Move On to information and guidance for SEND students, careers advisors, and the Skills Hull and East Yorkshire team too. Just to let you know, the arena is a big space and might be cold, so please bring a coat. And the floor is a compacted sand-like surface because it's normally used by the equine team, so horses. So please expect that your shoes might get a little bit dusty too. And with this in mind, please be careful not to drop any rubbish. The arena can get busy and loud, but we will have a quiet space available if you need it to regulate. So how can you prepare? I think most importantly, bring something to write down notes, whether that's a notebook and a pen or your phone if you're allowed, so you can take notes of those interesting stands. Think carefully about what kind of apprenticeship you might want, thinking about the industry, the location, the type of training that would suit you. You could prepare some questions in advance, and there's a little bit more about that later in this video. And if you have a CV, feel free to bring it along. If you haven't written one yet, there's a CV writer in your Log On Move On account. And be open to new ideas as well. So our top tips: visit a mix of employers and providers when you're at the event, and don't forget the support services too. I said be open to new ideas, so don't just visit the stands that you've heard of or just the industry that you're most interested in. Speak to as many as you can, because you might be surprised about the types of jobs that they offer. Try and make a really good first impression. Smile, think of some questions to ask or some conversation starters. Make eye contact if you can, and thank people for talking to you. After you've left each stand, make a note about something that stood out for you to help you remember about each of the stands that you visited. After the event, review those notes that you've made, go back over them and follow up on any leads, and research the companies and providers that you liked most as well. So we had a young man that attended the event last year. He did exactly this. He made a perfect impression with them. He researched and he took contact details of those companies that he really liked. And he went away, he got in touch with them, he asked them about their recruitment processes, he applied to be an apprentice, and they remembered him from the event. They remembered the impression that he made, and he followed that up. And then he now has an apprenticeship with them. And finally, after the event as well, make sure that you share what you've learned with your parents, carers, or your school careers advisor and talk through what your options are. So I mentioned conversation starters. If you're feeling a little bit nervous about speaking to new people, conversation starters are a really good way to help you. So you could make some notes of things that you can talk to people about. So you could have, hi, I'm, and your name. I'm interested in finding an apprenticeship in, and whatever industry you're interested in. Could you tell me about your apprenticeships? Or you could ask, what kind of training do your apprentices receive? What would a typical day be like for an apprentice with you? What qualities do you look for in somebody that's applying for your apprenticeships? Are there any entry requirements? How can I apply for an apprenticeship with you? What's your recruitment process, and are there any deadlines I should know about? Did you do an apprenticeship? If not, would you now that there are some more opportunities to do them? And then I've also put together some things that you could ask as well. So you could ask them, what kind of tasks would an apprentice do in the first 6 months? Is the work location fixed, or do you rotate across different sites or departments as part of the apprenticeship? What level qualification will the apprentice gain, or what is the apprenticeship standard? Do you offer any kind of reasonable adjustments for somebody with SEND or other needs? How much study time is there? Is it day release or block release? And what does the on-the-job training look like? What opportunities are there after the apprenticeship? Could someone stay on full-time, or could they begin another higher level apprenticeship? What have your past apprentices gone on to do? And what should somebody do now if they're interested and they want to apply? So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea about what to expect and the things that you can do to prepare. So as a reminder, do make sure that you are prepared for the event. Bring a coat and a notepad and a pen. And remember, you're not just visiting, you're networking, you're exploring options, and you're starting a conversation about your future. Even if you're not 100% sure about what you want to do, attending the expo is a great way to take a next step in the right direction and to make progress. You can find out what's out there, and you can get some ideas as well. Think of the expo as your chance to open doors, to ask good questions, and to take a step towards your future career. Be curious, be proactive, and you'll get far more from the event. And finally, have fun. We're really looking forward to seeing you there.